Ba-da-da-da. What's up, everybody? Good morning. It is Thursday, December 11, 2025, and I'm making Play-Doh snakes like a rapper in a 1990s, late 2000s album cover. Making Play-Doh snakes. Let's go, you guys. Just want to pick up on the conversation. Sorry if you guys weren't here for the pre-show. You totally should be here early. Come on in as early as possible. We get some chitter-chatter going on. Jack 2125, we've been talking about Sharon Moore, the Michigan head football coach who got himself in a little bit of trouble there. Made a few miscalculations and now not only finds himself out of a job, out of a $30 million contract, because he was fired with cause. Oh boy, it seems to be just snowballing. Went from one big house to the other. And I asked the question, was he even deserving of the hire? It seems to be everyone's kind of answering, no, not so much. The decision makers at U of M need to be held accountable too. I agree with you on that, Jack, but I will give. This is where I will give. I got to agree with Barstool Sports Dave Portnoy. Right, credit where credit is due. Okay, now personally, I am not as big of a Michigan State University Spartans fan as I once was growing up because of the way that they grossly mishandled old Larry Nassar for years. You got to give Michigan props for just going, nope, cut, and just being done with it. I got to give credit where credit is due. So good on the University of Michigan for holding people accountability. You know, sometimes, do we need to start? Are we in the era now where these multi-million-dollar college football head coaches are so immature, so stupid, $30 million stupid. I got 30 million reasons why you shouldn't be stupid. Stupid? Welcome to my shitbox life, bro. Guess what, Moore? You know what you're going to be hearing a lot now? Put the fucking fries in the bag, dude, because you just kissed 30 million reasons not to act a fool. Some people, dude, some people are just dumb, dude. Just I could you imagine having that kind of money and just going, you know, I got everything I could possibly ask for. I have so much that not only will my family be set for life, but my family, my children, I want for nothing, and I can easily give back. You know what? No. I need more. I need to take. Piece of shit. You know what I'm saying? That name pisses me off. I was a girl dad before these boys fell in my lap this summer. Get that money and think they are untouchable. Exactly. Stupid. Beantown brother. What's up, dude? I totally read that in like an easy. He's stupid, bro. He's stupid. Oh, yeah, Rick. That name really irks my yanks my chain. Irritates me. I've actually worked with and met one of the dads. Actually, I've worked. If you guys recall, during that trial here, I think they had it in Eaton County, or was it Ingham County? I can't remember. One of the dads though tried to get Nassar in the court. Like he tried to get him in the court. And I know that guy. I know that guy. And I was just like, you should have let him get to him. Personally, and I have to dance around this subject very carefully because YouTube do not like you when you say things that hold the people accountable and say that you have brought dishonor upon an infirmary. Let's see if I can space out properly. I don't period. Think, period. He should, period. Have, period. Made it, period. To, period. The court. I don't think he ever should have. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean, guys? You know what I mean? All right, guys. So, head coaching career down the drain. And that's the thing, dude. Even if he were to have just not worked out as the Michigan head football coach, Rich Rod, okay? Brady Quinn, not Brady Quinn. God damn, who was that guy? What was that guy's name before Rich Rod? I can't remember. Even if it hadn't worked out, you still could have had a career in football coaching post your termination, right? First of all, I guess the main question should be, who would ever want you back? Okay, right? And then the next question is, if someone were to ever want you back, you know what I'm saying? Like Alligator Alcatraz's flag football interim team wants you to come be their coach. How are they going to sell that? How are they supposed to package that all up and be like, guess what, guys? Coach Purvey's here. You know what I'm saying? It just don't work. It just don't work. I just noticed, guys, shout out Derek Hart. Brother, thanks for bringing me back to the poll. There's a poll up in the chat, dude. You guys make sure you engage. What are you more hyped to watch tonight? TNF matchup of the NFC South, Tampa, Bay, Buccaneers against the Atlanta Falcons, led by old Kirk Cousins. Or are you more excited to watch paint dry or grass grow, leading by a small margin? Now, I'm going to be very honest with you guys, because in this situation, I am the mainstream media in this very encapsulated ecosystem. If I don't like the way that this public poll goes, after I close the poll, I'm gonna close the blinds and put things up over the windows, and then pipes are gonna break in here, and then people are gonna magically bring in buckets and buckets of votes that are gonna tip it in the scale that I want. Oh, we're making political jokes. Look at me go. Ayo, but you know what I'm saying? Lloyd Carr, there yeah, Brady Hoke, there he is. Beaver Nugs, that's the guy I was thinking of. Brady Hoke, there he is. That's the guy, dude. That's who I was thinking of. Yo! Oh, damn, dude. Damn. I watch my grass grow because my neighbor mows his lawn every day until it's covered with snow. You know, Rick, are you my neighbor? Because I'm that guy. I'm that guy. Dude, you guys have no idea how badly I wish I could just tear out all of the grass that I currently have, bring in tons and tons and tons of yards of topsoil and sand. I want to level everything out. I want to top dress it, level up. I would ideally in a world where money is all in my pocket, where Hat and Beard becomes one of the more wealthy people and out from the bottom of the bucket here. I would love to have a yard so level and so long that I can mow it with a real mower. Do you guys know what a real mower is? Shout out in the chat if you need me to explain what a real mower is, dude. And I want to real mow my yard, but I want to put diamond patterns on it like a baseball field while it looks like a fairway. You know what I'm saying? Oh, that is my dream, is to have just this for example, what I would love to do. Oh, this is going to get wild, guys. Check out Ryan Knorr Lawn Care on YouTube. That guy, that dude, that guy's got it. He was able to build this career on YouTube, right, and doing other work. With a lawn care channel, all about mowing and taking care of your lawn. He bought property. He built a house, built a barn dough on this property, right? And then not only does he have his own lawn and property to do whatever he wants, where he's got little campsites and stuff on his property, but dude has test plots of grass in his yard, like where he can test different grass. It's y'all. Men only want one thing, and it's disgusting. Yeah, I want a lawn that I can turn into my own fairway. I want to have a par 3 on my front lawn, and I want to have a par 4 in my backyard. That's what I want to do. My neighbor's the same as Rick, and never met a guy named Rick who wasn't an asshole. There we go, guys. All right, so today we are going to be briefly talking about... The media's at it again. Boys and girls, the media's at it again, just like yesterday. Oh, Patrick Mahomes is very concerned about his future in the NFL. The retention on this video is going to be absolutely dog water. But Bengals Joe Burrow throws NFL future into flux with concerning comments. What could that be? I don't know. We're going to then preview. I do know. The Lions, Falcons, Bucs game tonight on Thursday Night Football. Talk about ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys. It will be interesting to see exactly where this game's viewership lands in comparison to last week's record-setting 22.18 million peak viewership on Prime for the Lions-Cowboys game. And then they're following up with the lukewarm Tampa Bucs. And the Falcons, they are a team. And they play football in the NFL. Boy, oh, aren't you guys excited? Well, we have 3 storylines to poke and prod quickly as we jump to Lions getting a little bit of good news. Lions hoping to get an under-the-radar, but big and much-needed return from injury against the Rams. Well, there he is. Not really hiding this one. It's Shane Zylstra. Will he be back? And what can he do? Let's take a little look. We'll get to that and much more when you tune in next time. Also, and this is an article I did find out. Shout out A to Z Sports, dude. I really like these guys. I like A to Z Sports, okay? Think what you will of them, dude. Think what you will of A to Z Sports. But an injury expert shuts down the most held belief about why the Lions struggle with injuries. Now, there is this narrative going around about how we are far too rough and tumble the majority of the year, right? And especially in practice. And remember, I got a plan. All I think about is you guys, man. Right? Yeah. Oh, well, injury expert does shed some light now. Yes, expert, but some people do. I mean, look, there is some weight to put behind people who are in the field, at least. Now, I don't know this guy. You don't know me. We could all be fake. I am just a figment of your imagination inside the little black box in your pocket. And the slave square says, watch the Hat and Beard Show. But we will watch or take a look at A to Z Sports, just poking and prodding, because it is a little, why? And I've been talking about it for the last couple weeks now, and I think we all have kind of started to notice. Now, we're not stupid, right? You, me, and Bud Dupree, we all see what's going on here. And it is a uptick in injuries. And personally, I think that we're seeing a massive uptick in career-altering injuries. I do not recall Achilles being this big of a deal, right? Now, knee injuries, gruesome, right? You guys remember like 1998 when Jerry Rice tore his ACL and was able to come back and then broke his kneecap? You remember that? Remember that? That was wild as hell. Now guys are doing that. They're tearing their ACLs, coming back. But these Achilles, dude, so what is it? Is it a mind thing? Is there a happy median between what teams are doing and what the Lions are doing? Are the Lions going too heavy? Well, the data doesn't necessarily prove that. Are other teams going too soft? I don't think the data necessarily proves that yet. But is there somewhere a happy median? I have been an advocate for the Lions to get a new strength and conditioning program in some capacity, but, there is something to be said about not playing on natural grass, right? I'm just saying. And then finally, we will end on a heavy note, pardon me, an uptick here, a little bit of a high note over at Lions on SI. Vito, our guy Vito, an hour ago. Hutchinson, Lions need to build on strong effort against Cowboys, and that's where we get the thumbnail picture from. A little bit of an uptick. We need to, rise above the noise, or whatever my thumbnail was. I said I couldn't remember it because I'm not good at the thumbnail thing. Have you noticed? Have you guys noticed that? Not so good, but you can reward me with my not so good thumbnails and descriptions and stuff by subscribing to the channel if you're new here, ringing that notification bell so that you can be notified every time we go live, Monday through Friday, 10 to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at youtube.com, as well as every single Lions game. We have a digital tailgate, a little bit of a pregame show for you, where we place some dollary dues on DraftKings, take your chats, and just generally kind of hang out. If this type of show isn't so much your kit and caboodle, why don't you go ahead and hop on your bicycle and come on over, right? Come on over to the digital tailgate. It's a little bit more laid back, I'd like to think. A little bit more just kind of chatting beard. Not so much chatting beard, if you know what I'm saying. If you know, you know. Go ahead and slap like on the video. Share this video around with all your friends. And if you think about it, go ahead and come back at some other time, tomorrow morning or whatever. And if you got it still, go ahead and hit a hype on this video. It's the biggest way that you can help get this out here. But we are over 800 subscribers, crawling our way to 900. But we will get there eventually, and it's because of all of you doing help out there, helping me get this show off the ground and get going. All right, now let's go ahead and begin the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, here we go as the season winds down and the top dogs start to get kicked out of the playoff hunt. Well, we got to drum up some drama so that we have storylines to follow in the off season. We've already seen it happen just post Sunday night with the cryptic message sent by Patrick Mahomes, where we, no, not so much. And I think we have a little bit more of the same. Third verse seems the first here with old smoking Joe Burrow. Joe Chill. Cincinnati star Joe Burrow made concerning comments about his long-term commitment to playing professional football on Wednesday. Burrow entered the league in 2020. He's been through a ton of injuries. He tore his ACL and his MCL in his left knee in his rookie year and tore a ligament in his right wrist in 23. He's missed several games this season with turf toe, right? And we know that because the Bengals, well, we were able to take advantage of the Joe Burrow-less Cincinnati Bengals. And, after what the Detroit Lions did to Cincinnati early on, well, they made a interdivisional trade to bring in old smoking Joey Flacco to hold down the fort. Because, what was his name? Not Jake Fromm. Whoever that guy was. Not Judd. Man, I can't remember that dude's name. That's how good he was. I can't even remember his name. But when Burrow is healthy, the Bengals are a playoff contender. And Burrow is an MVP candidate. When he's not, they're bottom tier. 100%. He said, this is what he said. Okay. Now you guys let me know if this sounds like a guy who is really mulling over his future in the NFL, if he still has it much left. It certainly doesn't change my desire to win. If I want to keep doing this, I have to have fun doing it, he said. I've been through a lot, and if it's not fun, what am I doing it for? So that's the mindset I'm trying to bring to the table. Yeah, really sounds like a guy who wants to quit. Yeah, he added though on the reflection about his career, I'm not sure there was a singular moment or time It's a reflection on a lot of things I've done and been through in my career. I think I've been through more than most, and it's certainly not easy on the brain or body. So just trying to have fun doing it again. I think he's just being honest. Look, we're not a playoff contender. I think what he's really saying is we are not a playoff contender, so I'm just trying to have fun. This year's a wash. You guys got me no defense. You got me no offensive line. It sucks. That's what he's actually saying. He's actually saying, yeah, playing in Cincinnati sucks. Hot dog water. This is terrible. I do not like it. I am just out here trying to have fun and collect my paycheck. I didn't see anything in there where he's like, oh, we're out here trying to win a Super Bowl and get a championship, and that is the goal this year and every year. We are contenders. We go out to win. No, what he's saying is, look, the reality is I was hurt all year. I have been hurt multiple seasons, okay? This year is a wash, right? This year was supposed to be an experiment. We were going to see the Cincinnati Bengals do this big overspend on the triplets in Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. A lot of money wrapped up in those three guys, right? It's like $69 million, very nice, of the team salary cap just in those three guys, right? So that means you got to figure out 50 other dudes to fit into that salary cap, right? So they have no defense. Chase Brown's okay, but he is in my opinion, Chase Brown is a complimentary back, not a lead back. I think he'd fit in really well spelling like a Breece Hall in the New York Jets rebuild. But there's no offensive line, there's no defense, and all he's got is the two big-time wide receivers. So we're out of the playoffs. We're not going to even win, or we're not going to make a wild card, let alone win the division. Okay, so look, I'm just trying to have fun. I'm just trying to get to the offseason so I can heal up, right? Now, there is this little bit here. Former Indianapolis Colts star Andrew Luck was a promising star in the NFL before injuries took toll on his body, blah, blah, blah. Burrow's 29 years old. I didn't realize he was 29. And he's played 73 games and thrown for 20,000 yards, more or less, and 148 touchdowns. Yeah, have you guys ever seen this? The goofy, the weird, eerie comparisons of the career of Andrew Luck and Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow, Andrew Luck. Andrew. There we go. Luck. Yeah, check this out. I'm going to do the striking similarities. Number one overall, exceptional talent. Excel making playoff. Where's the injuries? There's something about the injuries with Joe Burrow and Andrew Luck. Here we go. Let's see if this talks about it.
Are they ruining Joe Burrow and setting him up for failure over the balance of the rest of his career?
I would put this into the category of Indianapolis Colts negligence. And I would not be surprised if Joe Burrow, based on injuries, retires early like Andrew.
Okay, so that's not man, maybe it's Flemlow Raps. Did he have a video? Yeah, he did back in September. Oh man, maybe we watch this at some point, y'all. Not today. How about next day off I have? We'll watch this little half-hour video by Flemlow back in September, talking about how he does a really good job of putting the narrative together. That's where I heard it all. It was on Flemlow that I heard that. That's right. That's where I heard that from. Jake Browning, thank you. Damn, Rick, you are like an encyclopedia on player names, bro, for real. Oh, man, that was awesome. There's a 37-year-old quarterback with a jacked back leading the MVP running, been through more than most. Is Matt Stafford, the NFL loves quarterbacks, right? The NFL loves quarterbacks. And honestly, I'm starting to maybe think the NFL unjustly puts weight on quarterbacks early on in their career. This is kind of a sidebar, but just a thought experiment I was having. I can't stop thinking about how these guys have been bouncing around after flaming out at first-round picks. Like, I keep coming back to Sam Darnold and Mac Jones and Daniel Jones and hell, I guess even Jared Goff, right? Baker Mayfield. That's the other one that I was thinking of. These guys who kind of flame out early on. They don't really work out, but then they bounce around, and in their, mid-career span, they end up finally figuring it out, right? Now, if that is, in fact, the case, and we are seeing a trend of college quarterbacks not really working out right out of the rip, right? They're taking a little bit more time to season, maybe the NFL has been overweighting the value of quarterbacks. Now, personally, I am a big fan of building from the trenches out, and I have no data to back this up. This is merely a thought process. But shouldn't we be putting more weight behind offensive linemen? I mean, we all know that the reality of football is you win in the trenches. It is trench warfare, and it starts at the line of scrimmage, right? If you can't win at the line, you can't run the ball, you can't pass the ball, you can't do dick all. If you can't stop the run, if you can't get after the quarterback, your defense is going to be exposed. So knowing that there is, at least it's my understanding, that there is a slightly less of a developmental growing curve when it comes to offensive linemen, defensive linemen's development. Why are we not seeing more emphasis put on quarterbacks, or offensive linemen and defensive linemen taken early on in the first rounds as opposed to, say, the quarterbacks? Because what you see time after time after time, okay, is Bryce Young. I think we're going to see the same thing with Cam Ward, Giga Williams, because the NFL is putting their whole hand on the scale right now and making sure that he becomes the future face of the NFL. You're seeing these guys taken early on to really bad teams. And this is why you see historically teams that win regularly. And we'll use, for an example, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. For a long time there, it seemed like New England couldn't miss on any of their first-round picks, and they're always picking in the back end of the first round. Why is that? Well, because they're drafting first-round value players to a already good team where they're going to have to compete and not have a lot of pressure put on them right away. We've seen that happen with Detroit, where we don't put a tremendous amount of pressure right out of the gate on our first-round draft picks, outside of Penne, Hutch, Gibbs to an extent, even though his rookie year, he was still slowly eased into the process, Terry Arnold came in and was slotted originally to have to fight for that starting cornerback spot, So what we see then is these first-round picks. We'll use Cam Ward specifically for an example, where he could have been so much better if he, and I don't want to use the Jordan Love experience as the example, though we can now have two proven examples of Green Bay showing how drafting, sitting, developing works out, at least right now, on a historic pace. Look at Aaron Rodgers, and so far look at the success of Jordan Love, as much as I hate to admit it. There is a little bit of a what could have been, theorized with guys like a Cam Ward. What if he went to a team? What if he went to, say, Baltimore or Pittsburgh, or a place where he didn't have to come in and play right away, but he could sit and learn for and I don't want to say Lamar's on the back end of his career, but that's just an example of a guy he could learn from that isn't a young, super young quarterback. Though I had, and this is me just going off on complete randomness here, I was thinking about doing a little bit of digging, and I'm bad at doing research, about what do you guys actually think the prime age is of quarterbacks? Because Matt Stafford, for example, as you pointed out, a 37-year-old quarterback with a broken back is leading the MVP race. That seems odd. But why is it that all of the elite quarterbacks are always in their mid-30s? Shouldn't it be that they should be the young guns? It should be the guys in their, back into their rookie scale contract, first year or two of their secondary contract. You know what I'm saying? Shouldn't it be those guys? Why is it these Sam Darnolds, Jared Goffs, Matt Staffords? Why is it these old quarterbacks? I think it's because we're seeing a slight evolution as the game speeds up, while also seeing a reduction in the development of quarterbacks at the collegiate level. 30 to 34 is prime years. Beantown, that's what I was thinking, dude. I really had it zeroed in at 33. I had it really zero. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. These are just thoughts that I'm having while I'm driving to and from work. Okay, this is when I do my thinking, right? But I was just thinking, I was like, doesn't 33 feel like the absolute prime age for quarterbacks now? And if that is the case, why do we put so much emphasis on the first-round draft quarterback? Why are we not looking at second-round pick quarterbacks? Why are we not looking at third-round, guys taking them in the second and third rounds, knowing now that the prime age of quarterbacks is delayed, their development is delayed coming out of college. It's going to take them an extended amount of time to get to the complexity levels and the speed of the NFL game. Why are we investing all of this money? You know what I'm saying? Take over LA Stadium and make it more a home game. No real fan base in LA. Brent, I love that that's what Detroit does, dude. And I was actually thinking about doing a series of shorts where I play Detroit Lions fans going into opponent stadiums and taking a dump on their table, and then just doing the Jared Goff, like staring them right in the eyes and be like, Jared Goff. I think it's awesome. I was also thinking how funny it would be if years later after Jared Goff retires, it's still a thing that Lions fans go to other teams' stadiums and chant Jared Goff. I think that'd be really, really funny. I just think that'd be really, really funny. All right, guys, quickly, because nobody cares. Falcons and Bucs, 3 must-know storylines. Nobody cares. Battered Baker needs to bounce back for the Bucs. So we do know that Baker Mayfield was early on an MVP candidate. He was lighting it up, playing fun Baker ball. I like Baker Mayfield. He seems like a really fun guy, and I like the way he's playing football. I also like to see that. I love watching these young guys, and he's not young by any stretch of the imagination, but how they came in the league. Jameson Williams is a good example. I like to see the evolution and the maturity of them going from this party animal, me, I am, to humbled, understanding of the game, knowing their role, knowing the business. It is nice to see. Again, culturally, it is a huge benefit. Mike Evans might be back. Jalen McMillan might be back. Kate Otton's probably out. Kyle Pitts could be a difference maker in the Falcons' upset bid. Personally, from years of gambling in DFS and then now in years of sports betting, anytime. This is not a rule. This is just something that I have noticed that I tend to kind of practice a little bit. It's similar to that Jameson Williams rule, though I think I jinxed it after I said it. If Jameson Williams over/under is ever 50 at or around 50 yards, you always smash the over. If Kyle Pitts is ever the hyped up guy for the day, you absolutely fade Kyle Pitts, because when the pressure's on Kyle Pitts, no bueno. No dice. I would go Darnell Mooney today. That's actually... Yeah, I'm going to make a parlay tonight. Do you guys want me to share it on the community notes or community tab? I'm going to make a parlay. I like Darnell Mooney tonight, actually, guys, if he's playing. I like Darnell Mooney. What can I say? I think he's a good talent. And finally, beat up Bucs defense hopes to stop the bleeding. What is with all the B's today? Because it's going to be a B-tier game. You better be ready for the bad game that's going to be played tonight and battled out between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Their defense is Todd Bowles' defense needs to bounce back, but they are banged up. They're so banged up that they went out and signed 36-year-old Jason Pierre-Paul. Yeah. He hasn't played since 2023. That's not good. What helps Kirk Cousins is by no means a scrambler. No. Even before he blew up his Achilles. Now, I've watched Kirk Cousins play since college here at MSU. And he's never been mobile. So, yes, you should be able to absolutely tee off with an aggressive defense and get after him. Falcons, not so good. Not so good. Tampa, not so great. But, all they got to do is win the division, and then they're in. They have a much easier road to the playoffs than, say, a team like the Detroit Lions, as it sits right now. How we doing, Mad Hatter Nation? I would never draft a QB in the first round. Rick, I love it. Hey, Pac Lolo, what's up, dude? Good to see you, man. How you doing, brother? I'm hoping the Lions sweep Stafford's leg. Sweep the leg, Johnny. Let's go. 6 sacks between the 2 defensive ends here in Detroit. Yeah, an action jack chipping in. Yeah, let's go. The NFL is evolving back to the pocket QB who runs when they have to, but don't fully rely on it. Look at Mahomes and Lamar. Both rely heavy on the run, and both are having bad years. Yes, Beantown. They are both scrambling quarterbacks that just launch the deep ball. So what do? You have athletic linebackers and defensive ends that can get after the quarterback, and you just run that shell covered defense, or that 2 deep shell. You know what I'm saying? Does JP have no fireworks clause in his contract? Brent, I would imagine so. My favorite thing about JPP was when people were making the memes of him, and he had the his hand was the hamburger helper guy. You know what I'm saying? Brent, dude, I really hope that the Lions take over SoFi Stadium. I really do. So, yo, Brandy, shout out Brandy. That brings up a good question. Lions at Rams is going to be the 4:30 game, right? Does that mean that we have old Tommy Brady and Kevin Bernhardt or whatever his name is? Are we Fox's game of the week? No more spanking meat with that hand, no mo. No shit, dude. Or it'll be the most interesting stranger ever. It'll feel like an alien. They should tell Rivers he doesn't get paternity leave. Maybe that'll keep him from having another kid this season. Dude, I imagine, let's see, there's 5 weeks left? So he's probably got one in the oven already, knowing Phillip Rivers. Yeah, he could probably, there might be a chance that he could have another kid. What if it comes week 18 and Phillip Rivers is like, hey, man, my wife just had another kid. I need the week off, man. All right, guys, briefly here. Lions hoping to get the under the radar but big and much needed return from injury. And why is that? Well, we are banged up. I did see, and I cannot disagree with the term more, that we are short-handed at tight end. We are very long-handed at tight end. Dan Skipper is 6'9". Let's go. The Lions are hoping to get Shane Zylstra back on Sunday against the Rams. Damn, I didn't realize old Shane Zylstra's been with us for 5 seasons. He's been pretty solid depth tight end for us. Remember that Carolina game where he had 3 touchdowns? Unfortunately, he was injured in training camp and hasn't been able to play all year. Last week he returned to practice. He did step away for a day because of re-aggravation. But Lions coach Dan Campbell said, barring any setbacks, they would have him able to play on Sunday. Hooray! We get a receiving tight end back. Excellent. Now, I have nothing against Shane Zylstra. I do make the comparison that he is Tony Scheffler 2.0 because until proven otherwise, dude's Tony Scheffler 2.0. He's a great receiving option, and that's awesome because we don't really have that since Sam Laporta went away. And that's not saying that Brock Wright was a blocking tight end. That's just saying that we lost a massive receiving option when Sam Laporta went away. Shane Zylstra does bring up a little bit more of a physicality mismatch against linebackers. He's a little bit more in the mold, at least in my opinion, of like a Colston Loveland, a little bit slimmer, more of a big wide receiver, skinny tight end. I'm not going to hang my hat on Shane Zylstra rolling out there on 3rd and 1 and being a big push for us to grind out that 1 yard. Now, where I will look to see Shane Zylstra be sneaky is in the red zone, where, again, he carved up Carolina for 3 touchdowns not so many years ago. Can he do that against the Rams? Totally. Will he do that against the Rams? I'm not going to hold my breath. But it is a boon, right? Now, we did cut Smelly Dwelly, which meant that Furskers probably slot at your tight end 1. We do have, Hayden Rucci, more of a blocking tight end. Great. But I would expect Grandma Wagon this statement, even if Shane Zylstra is good to go, I would expect more of your friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper to be out there. We use him a lot. Hell, we even try and throw him the ball once or twice, but going to be your bigger body, jumbo package, grind it out. And I think that's how we beat the Rams. I don't think you do it too flashy. I don't think you get too overly sexy with it. You go out there, you use the 2 backs, your big offensive line, you play bully ball, you put the Rams in catch-up mode. You want them to play faster. You want them to be from playing, ideally, on their heels and from behind so that Hutch and Muhammad and everybody else on the defensive line can just pin their ears back, send a little action jack after them, and get after it, because we know that a good pass rush covers up deficiencies on the back end. We can make it all look better if our defensive ends and our defensive tackles can get home. Let's go, you guys. It is not difficult. It is simple, simple, simple. It is KISS football this week, boys. Keep it simple, stupid. It is not complicated. Stop trying to overcomplicate it. It is run the ball, play smart fundamental football, and get after it on defense. Matt Stafford is not mobile, and Aiden Hutchinson can get a lot of pressures. Turn those pressures into sacks. A lot of statistically, second down sacks. We need second down sacks. Second down sacks are drive killers. We can get second down sacks. I'm telling you guys, we all watched that Brett Coleman video together not so long ago. Second down sacks are drive killers statistically in the NFL. So look for us to get after it on second down, stifle the run on first down, get after it on second down, put them in third and long situations, pin our ears back, and just get after Matt Stafford. I want to see Matt Stafford slapping his feet like a duck all damn game long. Let's go. Let's talk about some injury news. An injury expert shuts down news, right? So the other big thing, the biggest mark, the Lions are going too hard too early in the year. We know other teams don't practice the way Lions do. New Lions say it every summer, and so do teams that come from joint practices during training camp. We want to know if there's anything to this idea. I wanted to know if the Lions are rushing themselves into too much live physical contact. I think that is a good question that we have all been having, because it is different. We handle ourselves differently. We go about doing business differently. Personally, I think it's a more old school and the correct way of going about it, right? You iron sharpens iron. You know what I'm saying? That way you're not going in bronze fighting iron. You know what I'm saying? Physical contact that is causing wear and tear. So I spoke with Bone and Joint Institute of Tennessee Director of Rehabilitation Services, Dave Kempfert. I hope I'm saying that right. In addition to his duties, now this is where we can have even more emphasis and weight handed or put in the opinion of this individual. Not only is addition to his duties of the Bone and Joint Institute, he's also a former NFL offensive lineman who used to play with Lions quarterback coach Mark Brunell with the Jags. And here's what he has to say about this concern. Quote, there's a pretty good video of Dan Campbell talking about his players. Guys, if I had better, yeah, we know that, talking about kind of old school guy here. So do I think that it has changed a lot? We just talked about these tools that the NFL has now, about all these things that are measurable regarding how much volume you're putting in. Is there a benefit to that? Sure, and I agree. There is a benefit to data collection. Data collection is how you really maximize every potential. Do I think back in the day was a little overdone with regard to contact and things? I would agree it probably was, but I still think there's so much value to putting yourself in those situations. And I always use the term callous. But there is something to put in the contact and putting yourself in those situations to get yourself ready for that. I think back in the day, we used to do more 2-a-day full contact practices in 2-a-days, and then they do in the whole season now. I'm not saying that was ideal. When the season came, though, it was almost a break. Sometimes when things would get going, and because it's a long season, you have to back off and prepare for the long season. If you're not used to all that bruising, sudden starts and stops, cutting, taking on collisions, learning how to get up at full speed, it makes a difference in how you perform. There are limits to how often you want to do it, but I think you have to prepare your body for those things. But again, you have to monitor each person and everybody individually. You can't just assess everyone as a collective group. I think he's on to something. As I said early on, I agree with that. I read that as my guy's saying there isn't one extreme or the other. We do need to find something in the medium because, as he can tell you by example, back in his day, 2-a-day practices, full contact. Hell, by the time you got to the long, drawn-out regular season, well, shit, this is just a cakewalk. I've already been through this. I've already been banged up. I already got the bruises, and it doesn't hurt so much now when I go out. Now, I'm not saying ignore all injuries. Personally, I do think players need to be a little bit more tough, right? But, look at the Lions, though. Every year we're dealing with some radical-ass injury, it feels like. I mean, there he is, BB, with his ripped-up ACL. You know what I'm saying? How we doing, Matt Henry? What's up, moldy teeth? That picture cracks me up. Was I drinking this last night? Nope, dude. I actually haven't drank since last Friday, Thursday or Friday, Wednesday, somewhere around. I don't know. It's been quite a few days. It might just be the lighting, my guy. If he was accurate on the field as he is off, he'd have had a ring. No shit, dude. Yeah, Rivers. I honestly don't expect to see Phillip Rivers on the field. We talked about it yesterday. The plan was to have him kind of be more of a mentor and on-the-field coach for Riley Leonard. And as long as that PCL strain is just a minor grade 1, I'd expect them to make him go earn his paycheck. Zylstra would be another welcome receiving option. Don't rely on him to block. Exactly, Brent. Like he's a viable receiving option here or there. I'd expect no more than 2 or 3 catches, right? But yeah, I'm not going to be like, Shane, go out there and pancake the defensive end. Thank you. I'm expecting you to execute that. That ain't. Double Puka and make Stafford beat you with someone else and slow the run down. Beantown, what's funny is I actually seen an article that was how to watch Devontae Adams beat the Detroit Lions. Rams have to play Seahawks 4 days later in Seattle. They might be more focused on Hawks than the Lions. Jack, and I think the Seahawks are going to be going, get that Honolulu flu. Please get the Honolulu flu. Yeah, 4 days later after playing us for a big divisional matchup. Ooh. The odds are forever in Seattle's favor, at least right now. Over the Lions, safeties will need to stay deep and focus on getting INT right off the bat because that's Stafford's target due to injuries. Oh, hell yeah, dude. Excuse me. Hey, to get an interception right off the rip would be absolutely gigantic, dude. Gigantic, bro. That would be awesome. Kind of going to depend on who's back there at safeties. Obviously, Branch is down. We did sign Kaze. Is it going to be a Hallett? Is Thomas Harper ready to rock and roll? Is he going to be out there rolling? What do we do at the safety spot? Is Kirby going to make his return? Man, I don't know. And look, if you're watching this, dude, I'm not trying to poke at you, dude. I'd rather you take time off and get everything right than hurt yourself or not be right. You know what I'm saying? But we kind of got to know what's going on here, brother. You know what I mean? No, I'm not trying to tell you to shit or get off the pot. I mean, you're, in my opinion, the most important player on the defense, the most X factor of X factors, Kirby Joseph, and just look at the amount of turnovers that we get when he's on the field versus when he's off the field. You know what I'm saying? Let's finally go ahead and roll over here to Lions NSI. Aiden Hutchinson. Lions need to be built on strong effort. Need to build on strong effort against the Cowboys. That's right. That's why we said after the big game against Dallas, right? We get a nice little mini break, but we got to just keep stacking wins one after another after another. Just treat it like an extended playoff, baby. Look, you want to be in control of your own destiny? Don't leave it up to other teams. Don't leave it up to fate. Just win, baby. It ain't hard. The Lions defense delivered one of the most complete performances of the season in Week 14. Overwhelming Dakota Rain, Prescott, and the Dallas Cowgirls, and setting the tone for a critical late-season victory. Now Detroit shifts its attention to Matt Stafford. Aiden Hutchinson made that point clear on Wednesday. He didn't record a sack, but still generated 9 pressures and 8 quarterback hurries against Prescott. Emphasizes that Detroit's pass rush effort needs to be the norm. In the season's final 4 games. Aiden Hutchinson. That is a 100% accurate statement. Defense. Time to make that old adage come true. Defense wins championships. You win Super Bowls with a good defense and a great running game. We have both. Just make sure the defense can get sacks. just get home. Defense, get home. When you get into the later ends of the season, dude, it's all about defense. It's all about the running game. We have the We have two of the best running backs. We have the best 1-2 running back punch in the NFL, and two of the top best. We have the best running back in the NFL, and probably, in my opinion, Dave Montgomery, top 10, top 12. Okay, just right off the rip, okay? I'm not going to get into the details and metrics of it. Yeah, he could probably slide around, but I'm just going to say Dave Montgomery could be top 10, top 12 running back. He's a starter on any other team in the NFL. Sans, teams that, the Eagles, the Niners, exactly. Do you think Houston would like to have a David Montgomery right about now? You know what I'm saying? Lean on the run game. Get defense. Defense wins championships, baby. It ain't hard. I thought we played at a really, really high level all the way around the D-line all game. So it's great to see something we've got to continue to build on and continue to use that momentum to push us forward through this last stretch of the season. Detroit as a team produced 5 sacks. Al-Qadim Muhammad led the way with a career best 3 of them. And this is an interesting stat right here. Muhammad now has as many sacks in 22 games at the Lions. He has 12 sacks in 22 games, as he did in his first 84 games with the Saints, the Colts, and the Bears. That's a pretty awesome. You just love to see it, dude. Good on you, brother. Additionally, he now leads the Lions in sacks with 9, and Hutch has 8.5. Hutch put it Wednesday, if Jared Goff and the Lions offense are able to give the defense a lead late, Hutch and co. will do their part to seal the deal. Jared and I have the conversation all the time. I tell him, if you give us that lead and then you really get us in those pin your ears back situations as a D-line where you can just hunt, that's why it's fun to play with a good offense. Because when your offense is productive, the offense you're going against is we've got to get going here now. Is that not what I've been saying? Is that not what I was saying? You got to just put them in bad situations so the defense could just go back there, pin their ears at, and just get after them, get up on them, get down. 911 is a joke in your town. Matt Stafford, blah, blah, blah. Yet the Lions have to prove that the performance was a aberration or a truly turning point. That is the good question, guys. Was that team we seen against the Dallas Cowboys last Thursday, was that just a mirage, or is that what we can expect? It's up to interpretation, and the proof will be in the pudding come Sunday, 4:30. I'm a believer. I'm a believer in it. Let's go. I think what we've seen was the team we're going to get the rest of the year. I think it clicked. I think it's I've been saying it all season long, guys, is something has been wrong with Jared Goff. When you look in Jared, and I'm not trying to sound like Candace Owens, I had a dream that Charlie Kirk came to me and told me I was betrayed. I was betrayed, Candace. I had a dream about bees. And I don't know now, but I know. Okay? We don't know now, but we know. I'm just kind of noticing last game, Jared Goff didn't look so tired behind the eyes. He seemed just a little bit more alert. I think somebody finally gave that boy a cup of coffee. Yeah, give him a cup of coffee. Give him an espresso. Let him take a little nappy poo before the game. If that's what it takes to get 309 yards out of Jared Goff regularly, being sharp, being quick, being on point, then I'm here for it. Let's go, you guys. We're going to take one last walk through Mad Hatter Nation before we get on out of here. How are we doing? Whoever the line safeties are, even if you don't sack Stafford, make him miserable and throw his timing off. Beantown. Stafford hates being off platform. He hates it when the timing's messed up. His mobility is down. It is shaping up to be a good situation for the Lions. Grandma wagon. If then. Grandma wagon game. Let's go. So what linebackers or DBs will Shep have blitzing for extra pressure? Brent, historically, Jack Campbell has been he's got 5 sacks on the season. Jack Campbell has been blitzing at a lesser rate than historically in his career, but at a more successful rate. Also, early on in his career, Derek Barnes did have a nice little pass rush step. Has he been utilizing it so much this year? But I'd rather Anzalone be back in coverage. It's going to probably depend on calls made at the line. At the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? It'll probably come down to Depending on the look, who's going, or maybe if we're having success with just the front four getting home, a heavy rotation of the guys, keeping fresh legs on, keeping the pressure on, maybe that's the situation that we're looking at. Brandy, I'm going to be very honest with you, sister. I was a little hesitant talking about this because you're one of my the biggest fans here. You do a lot of heavy lifting, and I didn't want to I don't know, make you feel like you were crazy or nothing. I didn't know where your stance was with Candance. Yeah, Candance lost her fucking mind, dude. Candance has lost her fucking mind. I've unsubscribed to Candace Owens, dude. She's fucking nuts. Dude, she is... All right, we're going to go long, boys. We're going to go long. We are going to go long. And the thing is, my boy here... He sums it up, dude. He sums it up. Tim Pool. Tim Pool absolutely crushed it. I'd like to not see a whole long thing. All right, here. I'm pretty sure that Too Lazy to Try has the crash out at the beginning. Check this crash out. I mean, it's not a crash out. He's accurate.
It is to the detriment of the right wing.
I agree. All right, come on. All right, I agree with Tim Pool. Now, I agree with Tim Pool on everything he says about Candace Owens. And what actually did it for me was about a week ago, Tim Pool said something very prophetic, right? And I agreed with him. I was kind of like, Candace makes some good arguments, and I wasn't completely, but sometimes I was like, all right. You know what it is, dude? First of all, Candace Owens is clearly a scorned lover, all right? She is furious that Charlie Kirk picked Erica and not her. It is very evident that she was in love with Charlie Kirk and wanted Charlie Kirk so badly, and now she's pissed. And she can go after him now. And she's destroying everything he's ever done. She's shitting on the grave. She's not letting this man rest. She's shitting on the faces of everyone who's ever done anything positive for the movement. He was the most important figure for the movement. And Candace Owens is almost single-handedly destroying the MAGA movement. And she's doing it with a big smile on her face and just raking in piles and piles of money over it. And I think it's disgusting. I think she's fucking nuts. I think she's lost her fucking mind. And I would encourage people to not buy into her soap opera bullshit, because all it ever is, oh, guys, I have an interesting lead. I just got a new tip. Guys. I got a new tip, but you're going to have to wait till next episode. Make sure to tune in to Candace Owens Z to find out what happens with the Charlie Kirk Bridget McCrone has a penis drama. Turn in next week to Dragon Ball Z. It's just soap operatic bullshit. It's female coded as hell, dude. It's drama. She's a drama channel. She is a true crime channel at this point. So just check out what Tim Pool does. Here we go.
Causing a shift in the political leanings of a generation for the first time in history is now in dire straits. Their leader and founder murdered, and prominent pieces of human trash are trying to destroy it. Candace Owens is a fucking evil scumbag. She is a degenerate cunt. She is burning everything down. And she's gloating and smiling while she does it. And you know what you fucking told me? She has no security. She doesn't fucking deal with the shit we have to deal with. She's a piece of shit. She's making everyone else suffer. And all of these fucking conservatives out there that send me these fucking messages have no fucking balls to call her out. More and more people have started doing it. They send me these fucking messages. Good for you, Tim. Good for you, Tim. I wasn't the first person to do it. I'm not going to take credit for that. But don't fucking DM me.
All right, so ever since Candance...
You see why I like Tim Pool? You see why I like Tim Pool? Check this out. Nick Fuentes. I even agree with Nick Fuentes on this one.
And even people who hate Israel and Daily Wire and Turning Point think Candace is nuts, like Nick Fuentes. He's been going after Candace even harder than Tim. and people like Kirk and Turning Point and a hijack.
Lost me. Egyptian planes, maroon t-shirts, beekeepers. Charlie talked to me in a dream. What is wrong with you people? Someone with balls needs to slap you idiots across your faces. Anti-Semitism used to be smart and ahead of the curve. If you were saying Jews did 9/11, Jews brought us into Iraq, we know what we're talking about, we know the names, and we know what's going on. And now you got all these stupid idiots watching the show saying, but Nick, Candance said that Charlie confessed to her in a dream. I don't even believe what I'm hearing.
like, do you fucking hear yourselves? Charlie came to me in a dream. And he told me, Candace, I've been betrayed. I was pregnant and I have weird dreams, and all the mommy sleuths out there, they'll know. And when you have dreams, they're very prophetic. And Charlie came to me in my dream. So I know. I don't know, but I know. She does that shit.
She goes on her show, I've been having visions of beekeepers all year. Oh my gosh. It is literally like medieval peasant idiocy.
Yes!
Someone in the village said she had a dream. Oh, come on, guys. Seriously? I think this is doing profound damage to the country. I think it's disturbing. I think it's weird. Millions of people are watching this. And they're buying into this psychosis. And it has gotten to the point now where the people that are being implicated in the conspiracy, I'm sure they're being harassed in their real life. She's going on a show that millions of people watch, and she's naming private individuals and inciting her followers to harass these people. I'm sorry. If you're on the Candace Owens train, I'm not even going to pretend like I'm going to try to appease you. It's wrong. It's stupid. All of it is stupid, and I'm not going to entertain it at all. And I thought Tim Pool had an epic go-off on it tonight. It was awesome. I have never seen such a clear-cut case of an individual person being such an unnecessary detriment through sheer ignorance and irresponsibility. I've never seen it. Because you could say other people that have done things like Shapiro or Charlie Kirk or whoever, you could say they're part of a system or there's an incentive structure, they're playing by the rules, whatever. Candace is spearheading this thing, like she is creating this hysteria, and it is to the detriment of everybody. It's to the detriment
fucking
of the
destroying the MAGA movement, boys.
Of anyone that seriously talks about Jews in Israel. And it's to the detriment of rationality. It is the definition of hysteria. And I thought Tim Pool, very courageous.
Sire, this is what we'll do. We'll put Candace Owens on the front page. People will listen to her. The midwits will listen to her. She might sound like a voodoo witch doctor. I was actually thinking about, doing a... the whole dreams thing. I had a dream that Charlie came to me and said, Candace, I was betrayed. I was thinking of doing like a whole mock of that, but turning Candace Owens into Miss Cleo. Because she's fucking nuts. She's fucking nuts. God damn. All right, and I'm going to just end on this. I'm going on public record, okay? Personally, I was a big old fan of Candance Owens for quite a while. Big old fan of hers, right? Right up until this very moment. Right up until this Charlie Kirk shit. And I will be very honest. Hat and Boobs had her pegged from the jump. She was like, that bitch is crazy. She is fucking nuts. Why do you listen to her? She is nuts. You were right, babe. You were... totally right. She is nuttier than a payday. She's fucking nuts. Please, if you're subscribed to Candance Owens, unsubscribe to her. And if you hear anybody say, well, I don't know, Candance Owens had a dream, stop them and go, say that over again. And say it slowly and listen to the diarrhea that is coming out of your mouth, and then ask me to take you seriously. Repeat that, listen to what you say, and then ask yourself, should this person take me seriously? Candace Owens had a dream. Her husband is also a sexual degenerate that did gangbangs with Andrew Tate. Okay? You know what? So there. That's how Tate has his thumb over her, because he's got dirt on her husband. Boom. Bingo, bango, bongo. How do you like them apples, Candace? Everybody knows everybody's dirt, Candace. Everybody knows everybody's dirt, Candace. Dur, 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 dur. I had a dream. I had a dream. I had a dream, Candace. I had a dream. And in that dream, Charlie Kirk came to me and he said, Hat, Candace is a raging cunt bitch who doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. She will not let me rest because she is making millions off of my good name and besmirching all of the hard work that I did for the MAGA movement. There. How do you like that, Candace? I can have dreams too, you fucking nutty bitch. Jesus Christ. All right, guys. Yeah, she's batshit crazy. In a dream. Yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Erica Kirk was on Fox News. Yes, Brandy, I did see that. I did see that. Did I hear what happened at Tim Pool's house? Yeah, well, yes. I did hear what happened at his the most recent actual shooting, as well as the story that Candace is trying to build up about his brother. It wasn't his brother in 2022. They had someone come onto the property, break into the house, and one of the staff members discharged a round at the intruder. It's well documented. He's got photographs of it. But his brother didn't try and shoot him. He didn't survive a shooting from his brother. But yes, last Friday night there was a shooting. 3 rounds were fired at Tim Pool's compound. There was a report filed, and eventually he says that he's going to release the footage, but that's after they move. I watch, in case you guys can't tell, I watch Tim Pool a lot. Like, he's probably my favorite commentator, like political or otherwise. I like Tim Pool, man. I have dreams every night. Me too, Rick C. Me too. Sometimes I get a lot of money. Where is it, Candace? Where's all my money that I've been dreaming about? I don't see it. I don't see it. Maybe it'll happen. All right, guys. What's up, Rich? Is it Rich Abbey or is it Rich Abbey? I'm going to say it's Rich Abbey 1264. 49ers fans will be rooting for Detroit on Sunday. A Lions win opens the door for the Niners to get the 1 seed. Yeah, Rich. Dude, and what's crazy is the NFC is so tight right now that, like, look at what happened to the Bears. They went from the 1 to the 7 in one game. You know what I'm saying? The NFC is very, very tight. She's never once presented evidence. Bro, Beantown. I know, man. I know. All she does is talk about things and talk about them in just enough of an interesting way that it makes you connect the dots without her actually saying it and without ever presenting evidence. You know what I'm saying? She just builds. She's a very good storyteller. Candace Owens is a very good storyteller. Okay. She's very good at knowing how to talk properly to people. And the camera cuts to just the right angle. Okay. Now, I don't know, but I know. You know, the mommy sleuths, they're always right. Also, have you noticed that Candace Owens talks in third person? She says, she refers to herself as we, which is inherently demonic. Candace Owens reportedly advised Matt Stafford's wife to say the Lions fans were booing her children at the playoffs. Probably, dude, because they're all fucking nuts, man. And not for nothing, Candace Owens, I think she's either a Fed or a plant of some type. I really do. I think that what she's doing is absolutely malicious and deliberate. I don't think that it is just unabashed stupidity. I think she is deliberately doing this and financially reaping the rewards. The literal definition of a grifter, bro. Yes, 100%. And I don't know why that word eluded me this entire time. Candace Owens, world's biggest grifter. And the bitch of it is, and this is, it's, you know what it is? It's not that it's insulting that she is such a big grifter. It's insulting that so many people buy into her bullshit, right? And give her so much money. Meanwhile, look, I'm over here. Have I fluffed anything to you guys? I'm very open about things where I'm like, this is purely a thought exercise. You know what I'm saying? I'm over here with 800 subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, Crazy Owens. Oh, Crazy Owens. Yeah, this is what happens when you give idiots a microphone and a little bit of money. They show you who they really are. What is wild is that she is using the death of her so-called friend to grift. And Kane, I think that's what you're really seeing is just an angry, scorned lover. And that never even got to be his lover. I genuinely think that Candace Owens was in love with Charlie Kirk. I really do. And then now there is some reports that there at the end there, right before he died, she was telling people how she hated him, how she couldn't stand being around him, which just sounds like she's just going through the stages of grief. You know what I'm saying? Brain is eaten away from COVID vax, or she is doing this purposely. Did a complete 180 from a few years ago. I know, Jack, dude. She's fucking... I was a fan before she did all this and lost her mind. Dude, Brent, me too, bro. I was a big Candace Owens fan, dude. And now she's just fucking bananas, dude. She's just fucking bananas, bro. It's just nuttier than a payday. All right, boys and girls, we've rambled long enough here for you today. I got to get out and throw a little bit of salt down so that the dogs and hat and boobs don't be out on a skating rink on the driveway and back patio. Try and have yourself a good rest of the day, guys. Enjoy. If you watch Thursday Night Football, enjoy it. If you're watching paint dry, enjoy that. Where did the poll finish today? Ooh, 50% of you would rather watch grass grow. I'm on board with that. Grifters are rough on the living, but a good friend of the dead. No shit, Kane. No shit, bro. Yeah, have you noticed that? There is no other side, there is no Charlie Kirk to say, dude, we weren't really that close of friends. Now it's all her narrative around it. You know what I'm saying? And that's just whack sauce. That's just wiggity whack sauce, dude. That's just so whack, bro. All right, guys, try to have yourself a good rest of the day. Stay out of trouble. Tomorrow will be Friday. Ha! Woo! Friday. I can't wait to get to Friday so that we can ski on into the weekend. Boys and girls, have yourself a good rest of the day. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Until tomorrow at 10 a.m., bonga bonga. Frig off.